This western red cedar tree sprouted from a seed in 1524. Now it's 502 years old. In 1527, this tree was as tall as a third grader. 1513, almost 100 years later, Pocahontas was kidnapped by the English. In 1620, almost 100 years later, the Mayflower arrived at Plymouth Rock. Then a long time passed. In 1701, Yale College was founded. In 1706, Benjamin Franklin was born. 1732, President George Washington was born. In 1743, President Thomas Jefferson was born. And then a lot of time passed. You can see the tree grew really quickly in these years. You can see the growth rings. Other years that were very slow growing, this much is 100 years. And here's some of the stuff that happened. Oregon was first seen by Captain James Cook in 1778. 1809, President Abraham Lincoln was born. 1806, Lewis and Clark arrived at the Pacific Ocean and spent the winter in what became Fort Astoria, which became the first town in Oregon in 1811. In 1843, lots of wagon trains came with families and all of their belongings to move to Oregon. In 1850, somebody found gold in Oregon, and then we had a lot of visitors. In 1853, the city of Eugene was started, and that's where Remy's mom was born. In 1858, President Theodore Roosevelt was born. 1859, Oregon became our 33rd state on Valentine's Day. In 1870, we had 173 sawmills in Oregon. In 1880, we got the railroad. In 1887, Yachats, that has the best fish and chips, was created. In 1889, South Dakota became our 40th state on Remington's birthday, November 2nd. In 1900, Oregon had 400 sawmills. I think they had a lot more than that. They just weren't counted. In 1911, President Ronald Reagan was born. In 1912, the town of Veneta, where Remington's mom is from, was started. Then, in 1917, President John F. Kennedy was born. 1937, we got a shiny new dam called the Bonneville Dam, which gave enough electricity for 3 entire states. In 1944, Remy's great-grandparents, the Reynolds family, they were both born, Grandma and Grandpa. In 1946, President Donald J. Trump was born. In 1955, Disneyland opened, but it wasn't in Oregon. Maybe next time. In 1971, the Great Papa's Pizza was opened in Eugene, and also the Enchanted Forest in Turner. Very special places. And I missed something kind of important, which is in 1965, Remy's Grandpa Cliff, that's me, was born. In 1969, that says 6, but it's supposed to be a 9. Remington's Oma, Heather, was born. In 1978, BJ's Ice Cream on the Oregon coast opened up. In 1980, Mount St. Helens exploded. It's a volcano. And we got covered up with ash. It shook everybody. It was quite an amazing thing. Then the next thing is in 1985, part of the movie Stand By Me was filmed right here where this log is sitting. In 1991, Remington's mommy was born. In 2017, the great Remington Reynolds was born. In 2020, we had very big forest fires, and it burned. The fire was very hot and it moved very fast, and it burned all the green stuff off the trees, and then the trees died. And that's where this tree came from. In 2025, which is 5 years after this tree was chopped down, Oregon now has 26 sawmills, which is the same as South Dakota. So this strange pattern, some of it might not make sense watching this video, but if you look at the grains of this tree and the shape, look at the grain. The grain does this. And so these little lines that tell how old the tree are curving all over the place. And so it was pretty creative to put all these pins in the correct spots. Welcome to Oregon.